Blog Talk Radio.
Media. Appreciate everybody for listening and sharing the show all over the globe. So many different actual countries are tapping in, so I am thankful for that. Got people in UK, South Africa, got Ethiopia, so we're definitely touching the motherland. Also, my brothers in India. Shout out to the 3 billion people from India, all one religion about, pretty much, basically. Shout out to India. Definitely, if I knew how to speak your language, I would say something, but I don't. Bonjour, tout le monde en France. What was it, night or bonne nuit? Good night, I should say. I guess, what is it, night over there maybe? I'll check my iPhone. But anyway, shout out to the people in Canada, U.S., Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, all the different listeners out there. Hope you are appreciating. Definitely send me a shout out on our social media and let me know what you would like to hear. You can find me at twitter.com/MoscovaENT or Instagram at VMOSCOVA, V Moscova. No, I am not Russian, but my last name and name sounds Russian. It is actually French I hear you, got it. It is French for Moscow, so don't ask me how Russian, French made it over to Haiti, but they probably were trying to get some sugar in the form of sugar. Anyway, I'm introing the show here because we have a wonderful, amazing guest on the line. One sec before that, I want to shout out my sponsor, Dancing and Life. Definitely check out my Instagram for the link to their website, and you can definitely see what Dancing in Life is about. Basically, it is a program that utilizes dancing and movement so you can feel better and get them endorphins going through your brain and body. And, there's a program behind it by my homeboy. So check Dancing in Life out, but go to my Instagram for the link or go to my About Me /VickensM. Also, if you are looking for a program to help you create and build your own websites or understand marketing, I have that as well. So go to MoscovaAcademy.thinkific.com and get your marketing on. I know we all need to figure out how to use all these different tools and maximize. So that's why I have that. So appreciate everybody for checking it out. But more importantly, we have an amazing guest who is a celebrity acting coach director by the name of Emmy Lyndon. Some say London, as I've heard on Clubhouse. Yet, she is a booking expert that has over 100 plus IMDB acting and directing credits, and was a former COO and personal manager of Gold-Levin Talent for 9 years. Is a multi-award winning director, filmmaker, and founder of the Lyndon Technique and the new clothing home brand I Am Enough collection. Hollywood celebrity booking coach Emmy Lyndon is internationally recognized for her 15 guideline map to booking technique. The Lyndon Technique is the secret. Sorry guys. Just answering a message. The Lyndon Technique is a secret weapon for 50-plus network series regulars, as Emmy Winner, as Imagen Award Winner, and thousands of actors working around the globe, and at universities for more than 20 years. So this woman has been doing amazing work, and you definitely need to check her out, and that's why we have her on the line today. Because the Lyndon Technique actually provides you with an effective, straightforward, practical approach to nailing your auditions and booking work as an actor, no matter where you live. Because you now have access to a proven booking technique that can help you study smarter, feel empowered in your auditions, and realize the career of your dreams. Go to thelyndontechnique.com right now as you're listening to check all her work out and download and book her and get her as your coach. Because when you start booking like crazy, you're going to wonder why. It's because you hired Emmy Lyndon, and she's amazing. Also, go to the actorstoolbox.net. But basically, the Lyndon Technique teaches you how to break down a scene like nobody's business, how to always know what you're doing, how to not pick up the energy, in a room, which is good because I know my empath might have issues with that, and how to compete and beat your competition, and also how to take care of those pesky nerves, how to get in that 1% ratio of working actors. And because, and she also teaches how to be in your heart and not in your head, and so much more. Working actors need to work the Lyndon Technique. And that's why, she says the actor must approach acting like an Olympic athlete. The more you practice the necessary skills, the more you will book. And when a high level of discipline and concentration on work is achieved, you will see incredible results, which is why we have the goddess, Emmy Lyndon, on the line. How are you doing today?
Hey, what are you doing?
Good, just speaking with the queen.
So funny, I got disconnected because this agent from the Southeast was calling, and I thought it was you, so I switched over, and it was her, and I had to tell her, hey, I'm calling you back. I'm on a podcast right now.
Oh, wow. She's probably trying to drop some more work on you and build up your network even more. That's amazing.
You guys got to get out of your comfort zone. I think it's important to also be able to have agents in every single city that is like big cities, like Chicago and Atlanta and New York, of course, L.A., and just spread yourself out so you're like this race car with all these stickers on you,
Right. For people that may not even understand what the difference between an agent and a manager is, an agent helps you book gigs and sends them out to you, basically, right?
Well, an agent is more of a salesperson almost. They have like more than triple the amount of people. And a manager is supposed to, like when I was a manager, this is what we used to do, and there's still some really great managers out there. And I've heard a lot of great managers on Clubhouse, and it was just really inspiring to see that there's some really great managers like the way I used to do things back in the day, which is build your career, help you with your photos, help you find the right coaches help you find the right photographers, pick your photos, make sure you have amazing a demo reel and clips, and make sure that your career is building. An agent pretty much just click away and negotiate. Their job is really not to build your career. They just they field jobs. A manager's not supposed to procure employment legally, but most of them do. I mean, I used to. And so you almost have like a bunch of people submitting you at the same time.
Right, right. And people get confused a lot of times when they pick up an agent, and they expect the agent to kind of like change their life and their world overnight or whatnot.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
definitely.
And, and an agent, you guys don't get upset if you can't get your agent on the phone, I mean, their job is not to personally manage your career. That if you want more conversation and somebody a lot more hands-on, then you should get a manager.
Right, but everybody wants a manager, but what is really needing something to manage? What is that for an actor? Like, once you know at that point that a manager will probably come to you, because most people don't even really need managers. Everyone wants one, but what is actually needing a manager? Like what is that?
I mean, there's the development stage, like I said earlier, right? And so that's what a development manager would do. And there's a lot of managers that will take some development clients and build them, But but then there's the manager that's pretty much like a traffic cop almost, managing all of your bookings and making sure that nothing conflicts, and making sure that you have the right dressing room, and that you have that the airline ticket is a really good seat, and all the perks that go with being an actor, and then setting up your publicist, and then possibly your legal team. And so there's like two aspects of the management: the beginning, and then when your career is taken off.
Right. That's usually after securing a recurring role or doing a big movie job or whatnot. So many actors I see on Clubhouse, just seeking managers and only have a couple credits, or not that big of a credit. But I figure everyone is seeking that guiding light, or some way to figure out how to actually monetize their career and do it correctly. Now you've created a bunch of different tools and techniques for people, especially like the Lyndon Technique, which I hear a lot of people rave about from all over the world. I know you can't. It's a bunch of long course, but what is that?
Okay, it's a couple of things. The first thing is that a lot of people know how to act, but they don't know how to book a job. And so it's a technique to make sure that you break down the script in such a specific way that you tell a better story than anybody else. And so it basically teaches you how to it's like reading comprehension, really. I'm teaching people how to read it better so they don't miss anything. Because if it comes down to you and like 7 other people, they're going to pick the person that's going to hit all the details, and the writer's going to say, oh, my God, you're reading it exactly as I wrote it. But a lot of people skip things. They'll skip parentheticals. They'll skip the action. They'll skip everything. They'll even skip the kind of show it is, And so it'll teach you how to see everything that's actually in the script. But it's also going to help protect you from your nerves, because you'll be so busy feeling and doing that you won't be picking up the energy of the people around you that are looking at you, judging you, deciding whether or not you're right for their project. So there's the philosophy of it, and of how this technique will give you so much power that you don't need other people's approval, that you will always know what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're feeling, and it becomes your own. And then you're sharing it with them. And either they're going to pick you or they're not going to pick you, but it gives you, it empowers you as the actor, which is why there's thousands of people all around the world that are just freaking out over it. I mean, it's really blown up within the last 5 years.
Right, right. And to feel empowered during these auditions and to be able to make bold choices, I feel like that's very powerful. What are some ways that you help people like figure out how they can start making bold choices? Like they have to basically get out of their head and lose whatever
Well,
sense.
bold choices. People say make choices, bold choices. Bold choices is just swinging through on what you're already doing. So when you're in truth, let's say you're your girlfriend's breaking up with you, and you're really, really upset, and you lash out and you say, you know what, I never wanted to marry you anyway, right? So you would say, okay, well, what's that feeling? Extreme hurt, right?
Right.
Right? And so what you're doing is you're lashing out. What you're feeling is extreme hurt. So unless you fully swing through on extreme hurt and lashing out, then you're not making a bold choice. That is the bold choice.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. That's interesting.
So it's really just going all the way with what the writers intended and making sure that you could connect in a very, very deep way. And a lot of people don't sit and marinate enough on where things are for them emotionally. And so they're not really the character.
Do you feel that people are numb a lot of the time, which is what keeps them from feeling?
I think that if you want to be a great actor, an exceptional actor, and then if nobody knows who you are, at no question, an actor that there's no question they have to have you, even though you have no credits, then you have to invest your time into knowing where all your feelings are.
Mm. Or
and that's
i.e.
why
or
Twitter. What?
I was gonna say, i.e. being one with thyself or whatnot.
Yeah, understanding what your triggers are, like what makes you upset, what makes you go off. And like for instance, this morning when you woke up, how did you feel?
Good. Ready to start today. Looking forward to speaking with you.
I know, but how did you feel?
Actually, a little bit tired because I had a long night, but determined to make the day.
Okay, so hold on. So you started out tired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you became what?
Focused and determined to,
Then you became
do
determined, because determined
right.
is a feeling. Focused is what you're doing. So you became determined, which is a feeling, and then what happened?
I became started getting busy.
That's what you're doing. That's not what you're feeling. So then you became happy because you're talking to me right now. Okay? So those are three emotions since you woke up. I'm sure there's way more. So you might have felt annoyed at some point. You might have felt anxious. You might have felt frustrated. So all of those feelings you felt fully, and you did not back down on them. You swung all the way through. And so if that was a scene, you would practice those feelings, and then you would practice those transitions from one feeling to the next. But what most people do is they run lines.
Oh, right. And while lacking the relationship and the feeling between the characters.
Yeah.
Right. So getting more into the feeling through learning the Lyndon Technique, that will help also develop your understanding of characters, because now you're also understanding how you're triggered by others or how you feel with others and can relate that to the acting in a sense?
Well, the Lyndon Technique is a 15 guideline technique. If you answer all the questions, you will be that character.
Right.
You know, because one of the questions is, what am I feeling? What am I really feeling? What am I saying? What am I saying? What am I doing? Who am I relating to? Like, who is this person? Am I clear on who this person is for me? So much of it is just being clear on everything that you're saying, feeling, and doing.
Right.
And so it's a goalpost, and that's why a quarter of my series regulars have no other training other than my tech. They haven't trained in anything else. I know, it's pretty amazing, yeah.
And they're booking at a higher percentage than others because they're, doing everything that's given, they're utilizing everything that's given to them in the script.
Yeah, because it reminds you to take time with everything that you're saying. It reminds you to take time with finding where all your feelings are. It reminds you to understand who you're talking to. It's a checklist, basically. But, I mean, it's easy to learn, but it's hard in its application because you have to practice it.
Right, actually do it and make it the scene real and while doing it, thinking all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
which is
which
is the trick and why people come to study with you,
Well, they come to study with me because they want to be a champion. Like I don't deal. I don't personally deal. I mean, I might send them to my associate, but I only deal with people that are hungry and want to work really hard, goal that they set out to do, and won't quit under any circumstance.
Right. Persistence or whatnot, and that's a different kind of person. I had some different conversations with people like Versa Manos about like athletes that more easily showcase, that champion attitude, things like the Mamba mentality or seeing players like Iverson willing to give their bodies and their all. But even like actors and, people every day can kind of have a certain mentality of wanting that greatness and figuring out how to actually achieve it and putting in the right people and making sure that they can be in the right places at the right time so that they could actually achieve these things that we see others do. But trying to figure out like what actually to do, and if you're coming across like the Amy Linden technique or whatnot, that's what champions do when they're in the gym with their coaches or whatnot, as well. And we could do that too. So this makes a lot of sense to me. As far as,
I mean, like I always look at like the people that have been athletes as children. They understand the art of competition and they understand the art of technique. Like even if like you look at Tom Brady, right? He spent days and nights and didn't even sleep just to make sure that all the plays were correct and that everybody on his team understood the plays. Really understanding the story and the plays is my technique. It's a map.
Right.
It's a map on how to break down a script and really see things. And when you could really see things, then you could tell a better story. With a competitive edge,
Right, that's awesome. That's what I love. For some reason in high school, I decided my junior year to switch to a completely new sport that I never played before in my life for some reason. Thought it was a good idea. Probably should have just stuck with soccer, but I switched to football. I remember the first time I got hit. I've never been hit like that in my life, but I stuck with it. And luckily that taught me, a lot. It gave me a lot of strength, but it also taught me, what it takes to win as a team and with, that competitive spirit as well. So it was great to learn something new and to actually see myself getting better at it practicing and implementing what the coaches taught me on on the field or whatnot.
Well, see what you're talking about. Like you didn't know what it was. You went out to see what it was. You got knocked down. You got back up. You listened to the coaches, and you proceeded to win with your team. And that's the whole premise of how somebody succeeds.
Right.
It translates through sports. It translates through your acting career. It translates through anything that you want to accomplish in your life. But you have to surround yourself with people that will help you get there.
That's amazing. And that's why I remember hearing a quote that while people are sleeping, and if you could work at that time, in due time, it'll kind of put you ahead. And, that actually works. Elon Musk does that to a higher level. But, of course, you need sleep and to be healthy or whatnot. But that competitive edge to know that while others are sleeping or partying and you're actually working on something, get you far.
Yeah. Well, actually, the quote is, if you're willing to do what most people won't do, then you can have what most people can't have. And I believe in that. That is actually the quote.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Oh yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and I don't know if he put it that way, but he's mostly talking about people that work smart. It's not necessarily it's hard, it's smart. Because I'll have a lot of people coming to me that have trained at Juilliard, that have trained at Yale, that have traveled the world doing Shakespeare, but yet can't book a damn job, right? Because they're too busy thinking that, well, I'm a great actor, so shouldn't I be working? But that's not true. It's a whole different craft now to learn how to book a job. And then you put on the self-tape to learn how to do a self-tape and book a job on a self-tape. And then you have Zoom, how to book a job in a self-tape fashion on Zoom. And what do you do in that space? And most people think, well, I can just show up. Well, you got people out there that are perfecting that space. And like the people that have been with me since last March on Zoom are booking like mad right now because they're light years ahead of all the people that are just learning how to do it now, even though everybody's been telling them for a year to go and do that. So the champions knew that the business was changing, and they went and got coaching on it. See what I'm saying?
Right, like a futurist. You see, you not predict the future, but, kind of use what's around you to figure it out and do something now rather than wait. It's definitely powerful. That's amazing. For people that
don't stick your head in the sand thinking that this is all there is to making it, And it's a shame, but they don't teach it in college, Like I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Acting from Syracuse University, and they didn't teach us that. Several other universities, if I could come and teach the actors what to do when they leave you, Like they're even teaching, they have a whole course, a Lyndon Technique course at Kansas University, and they have never invited me there to teach. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, that's nuts. And I probably know why too. Because you're actually a working actor and I'm doing all these different stuff, and they don't want you to come into those teachers that maybe just be teaching from a book. I mean, that might not be why, but I've seen that in my...
Possible. That's very possible. But you would think in that case, like, okay, fine, Syracuse University, whatever. But I mean, you're ordering my book. You're buying it for your bookstore, and you're teaching a course, I don't get it why they wouldn't say, hey, come on up and teach from your book, you know?
Then they're going to have to give you a whole salary because every student's going to want to take only your class. Think about it, seriously. I mean, for real. That's what's going to happen once you step on campus. Not to try to be funny, though, but even
but you're right.
I go to you first rather than a teacher who's been there for 40 years in the same darn room, like.
Yeah, but then,
anyway.
Then how much do you really care about the student, you know? Like, do you really? So, you know, I mean, I'd love to just go in to make sure they're teaching it right, you know? But that's the thing, you know, when like Sanford Meisner and Stella Adler and all the other teachers in the world, they came up with their own techniques, and you can't control how people are going to teach it. You just have to be, you got to let it go, you know? And be honored that they're even doing it. So it says something.
Good point. I mean, those are sales for your book, right? Better than not having those, or whatnot. But hopefully they are doing the right by your book and teaching it the right way.
I don't know. Ironically, 2 years ago, I got a student that graduated from Kansas University, and he came into my class, and he was doing okay. I mean, I was like, okay, so you learned it. You learned it at the university. That's good, you know. And he was the only one. I feel like it's like he was an alien or something, but he was the only one. And I was like, oh, how's the alien gonna do, you know? And he ended up doing really well. I was very excited.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's really good. I came from William Patterson University. I know they have a pretty good performing arts program with music and different things. So hopefully they use it. It's over here in New Jersey. Teachers type.
Are you still in New Jersey?
Yeah, I'm in Woodbridge, New Jersey, Central Jersey, just outside New York City.
I know Woodbridge. Yeah, I went to school with people from Woodbridge. I went to camp with people from Woodbridge.
Yeah, it's actually one of the biggest cities in New Jersey.
I grew up in New Rochelle, so I'm from New York.
Oh, that's awesome, New Rochelle. Do you get to visit often before COVID?
Well, before COVID, I went back at the very end of 2018. No. The very end of 2018, I went back and I was teaching. I taught in New York, and then I went back to New Rochelle. And I got to tell you, I hadn't had New York pizza in a long time, right? So I had gone to my neighborhood in New Rochelle, and I had this driver from the hotel in New York City where I was staying, and he drove me to New Rochelle. And I said, listen, we got to stop at a pizza place. And I went in, I got a slice, and it was the kind that you like flap over, pat, getting all the the oil off. But you flap it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you flap the side. So I'm in the back seat going, oh my God. And the driver's like, ma'am, are you okay? And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm eating pizza. It felt like when Harry Met Sally, the orgasm scene, you know? And here I am in the back seat with my slice of pizza. I was just dying. I was so excited.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I get Cali pizza, nothing on New York pizza. You're in California, right? In the sunny state?
I mean, they got good pizza. They got good pizza out here in California, you know?
Oh, they do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but nothing is like New York. I mean, it's just not. I mean, if somebody could tell me a great pizza place in California, like in LA, I will go and try it and see if there's this one place called Mama's and Papa's that's sort of comparable, but the water, it's something to do with the water in New York and the flour in the water, you know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. New York waters be fresh for some reason. I remember going to my family's house in Brooklyn, and they would drink out the faucet, and it was kind of like fresh, like it tasted clean.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that you could just drink out of the faucet.
Right. That's
You know,
good.
here you need bottled water. It's so weird, you know.
Oh, what's the water situation like in Cali? I mean, they were having a drought, right?
Yeah, but I mean, everybody's not drinking from the faucet. That's for sure.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah.
guess unless you have a filter system or something, but you know. So, do you have an agent out in New York?
I actually just have an agent out in Miami at the current moment, but I'm working on getting one in New York and Atlanta as I get my reel together. And then I'll present that to agents. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just have
the real thing is really important, you guys, to take that seriously. I have a lot of actors that have been like so frustrated, and they leave the business because they can't get anywhere, and it's because their package doesn't match their talent. And how is somebody going to see how talented you are if your package doesn't match your talent? And so it's so important to get that straight, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Because we always want to rush into things or whatnot. Clubhouse kind of helped create that with all the different managers and agents right on the line with everyone. But I do realize, you know, like you said earlier, they're doing like a sales job, and they need the tools to make sure that, you know, they can do their job. What are some of the tools, and what are the things that you see wrong in a lot of people's packages that you think they should just, you know, fix up right away?
Well, you know, ironically, I've been casting. I've been trying to find this little girl for my screenplay reading, because the producers want to see. They want to look at my final draft of my screenplay. I just signed with these producers, and I've been looking for this little girl, you know. And I was looking online, and you know, a lot of people say that you can use like self tapes, and you know, but if the self tapes are awful, it's actually more harm than good, you know. If you're going to use a self tape in lieu of some a produced product, it has to be amazing. It can't just be okay or good. So a lot of these kids were kicked out of the running, and some of them I asked them, because I saw something, I asked them to put their themselves on tape and send it to me. But it's just really important to have clips, and you know, and it just needs to be like a page and a quarter of a scene with somebody, and go to a reputable company, you know. If you guys DM me on Instagram at Amy Lyndon, I could tell you who's great out here in Los Angeles. In New York, I think Real Arc or Real, what is it?
Real Arc.
Yeah, I've seen their work. I think their work's really good. But just make sure that it looks like television. Like, be really clear about what that clip looks like. You know, maybe look at a whole episode of a show that you believe you could have been on, and they still duplicate, but with a different cast and a different name, because everybody steals from each other, from the earlier season, and change the names and just fix the scene a little bit and do that, you know. But the writing's got to be top notch, and it's got to look like it's on television. And make sure that you're really clear on what your casting is.
Definitely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's actually the process I'm in now. I'm working with a company similar to Real Arc, but I heard Real Arc has they got the market on lock right now. And sometimes I don't like Microsoft-like companies, so I'm working with a company that could, or ladies that can do just as good of a job, getting me a script together in drama and comedy, and then next week start the process of learning that script, and then putting it down to video and high quality.
It's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different companies or production companies that are doing that, and I just generally think that it's important to just be in control of your career and move it swiftly along, because a year goes by and then a second year and you're like, oh my God, I'm still in the same place as it was 2 years ago, and it's nobody's fault but your own, and that's what I'm saying to everybody. You can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want, but don't complain if nothing's happening, because you're just going too damn slow.
Yeah, and blaming it on your agents and managers and stuff. But I didn't like that. When I in Clubhouse, and I felt for you ladies. This lady then she didn't lash out. She just basically said what it was, and then this girl started almost crying. But she was about to start bashing her manager because she didn't think her career was going anywhere for a year. But everyone was saying, like, what can you do? What have you been doing? People are taking classes and this and that, and it's probably costing them dollars. But I don't feel like blaming it on someone else is the right way to go about it.
No, because maybe the communication was there, and and there's a strong possibility that the client didn't give the agent or manager everything that they needed, or if they did, they're not following the trends and expanding on their package. You're a business. You have to look at yourself like a store. Like you got a couple, like it's a shoe store. Like how many pairs of shoes are you selling? And if you could look at it yourself as like, you're open for business every day, and that you're selling shoes. Well, how many different colors do you have? Do you have different sizes? And you can't expect the manager or the agent to do something with you if you're fully development and you have nothing to wow casting into bringing somebody that has no credits into their office. When you're up against people that have more credits that are further ahead. So in order to beat those people, you have to have a better package.
Right. All
Does that
together.
make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've been in the digital marketing, social media, branding, SEO, e-commerce world for a minute now. Just learning, different techniques to grow one's brand online and working with different companies. So that's definitely something I've always found. Like whether having a business plan, a pitch deck when you're trying to get sponsors. Like I just reached out to a company the other day, Sabina Tech, and they sent me an audio console and a wired microphone. I was really looking to get their wireless microphone, which you could, if you're recording somebody, when you're recording someone with your phone and if they're far away, the audio's not good. They have a wireless microphone that someone could just put on their shirt or their body, and it connects by Bluetooth to the phone, so the audio is better.
Yeah, I think that's great, but you guys don't show the microphone. I see that a lot. Like I see the microphone on the lapel. It just looks, it looks like I'm an actor now doing a scene. Don't show the microphone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because people are like clipping it. They're clipping it on their shirt, and it takes away everything that you're trying to create.
Like the focus. What about wearing like gold chains and stuff?
If the character is a gold chain wearing person, for sure.
Okay, good.
Whatever you can do to make it feel very much like the character, Like there was a girl in class. I did a self-tape. I do pop-up class because my classes are so full right now that I have to add a couple of classes for the people that can't get in. So I did this self-tape pop-up class last night, and I'm looking at her self-tape, and I'm like, you have too much space on top, and your hair is not done. Why isn't your hair done? It's all the way in the back, and your jacket. If you're trying to sell me this professor, it should have like a tweed look to it, and if you were a stylist and you are dressing this person and putting them on, let's say, on a show, what would you look like? And so that's the kind of effort that needs to go into what you're wearing. So let's say you're playing this pimp daddy gangster rapper dude. Yeah, thick gold and 4 of them, you know, with one dropping down with this big medallion on it, you know? Yeah,
Wow.
no doubt, with a pimpin' shirt and lots of bling. If you sell it, you know? If you were a product and you're selling it to me, I'm going to buy it, right?
Exactly. And you got to put the work in and spend the dollars, the investment really in yourself, to really help that writer or director see that character in you. Is
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying if you were playing like a fire chief or something, or a police officer, to wear the police outfit or to wear the fire outfit. But I mean, those guys are fit to wear a tight black V-neck T-shirt. You know?
I mean, if you happen to have a badge laying around, I mean, that might be a good
Nah, I wouldn't do that.
All right, thanks. I'm glad I asked.
It's like wearing a stethoscope around your neck. You know what I mean?
Oh wow, it's like really trying to do too much.
Yeah, you don't want to. You just want to give the feel of it. Like those guys, like the doctors, they usually wear like a V-neck, button down. You know, because they have money, or they're wearing a polo shirt with the 3 buttons with the collar.
Right.
You know, like they're going to go play golf or something.
Yeah, some khakis or something, or some Oxfords or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, think about what they would wear, like, when those guys go to the bar on Grey's Anatomy. Like, what are they wearing when they're at the bar, you know?
Right, probably something from Nordstrom, from Macy's.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah, it would be from Nordstrom. I bet you they do shop at Nordstrom.
Yeah, I heard they have.
Whereas me, you know, I play a lot of blue collar characters, so my blue collar character would be like I shop at like a thrift store, you know, Goodwill.
Yeah, luckily I bought a lot of polo clothes because it was luckily one of my brands I like. So I'm always able just to put in a different polo these days. As far as taking,
I mean, a polo with a nice jacket, you know.
Yeah.
I think it just depends. It depends on how things are looking, you know, and what the character, like waking up, going, okay, well, what would this character wear today, you know?
Definitely. When getting headshots and actually having a reel, do they have to match each other and be in some sort of unification as far as the branding goes when you talk about the package?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say I have a blue collar shot, right? Then I would want to do like a scene that feels like it's from like The Walking Dead or like a guest star, like I did a guest star on Law and Order LA, and I was blue collar, you know, and I was holding a drink and I was drunk, and you know what I mean? Like what is what is the feel of it, you know? Or am I a drug addict, you know? Am I an alcoholic? Am I do I need a program? Or maybe I'm at an AA meeting, or maybe I have a meeting with my sponsor.
Right.
See, all these scenes. Yeah, that would match that headshot.
What are some of your favorite type of scenes to actually work on and do?
You mean as a director or for myself?
As an actor and maybe as a director too.
As an actor, I love comedy. I love to do full-blown physical comedy, like Lucy, or Will and Grace, like really wacky kind of comedy. Or on the flip side, something that's like on the deeper end of somebody breaking down because like somebody stole their heater from their trailer park. Something like that. The kinds of stuff I like to direct, I love directing comedy. I've directed a lot of comedy. But I really, really like directing short films. I've been directing a lot of short films. I'm hoping to direct the film that I have the table read for, but I might have to get like a really big name to direct the screenplay. We'll see. But I love directing. I just love it because I've been coaching for 26 years, so it's very easy for me to get a performance out of somebody like within a couple of minutes, you know.
Right.
So the shoot goes really fast, so I always get it in fast and on time. So that's why I think the next thing I want to do is direct a feature.
Right. And then I'm sure the different techniques and stuff you've been applying coaching will start to relate to that as well. That's pretty amazing. And it's been, a great honor to spend some time with you today. I know you have probably, a bunch of different things to do as well.
I got a coaching at 1 and 2, and I have to call back this agent. So all that within 10 minutes. But hey, thank you so much for having me on your show. I so truly appreciate it, and it was just so amazing to chat with you, and your questions were awesome.
Oh, likewise, you're just amazing energy and the great work you put in over the years. I just want to spend some time to give you some flowers here and tell you thank you, and to keep doing great work. And I can't wait to
thank you. Yeah, we'll spend some time together, you and I. I'll kick your butt and get you into shape. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, guys, if you want to find me, go to the LyndonTechnique.com, join the newsletter, and you can get 15% off of my online course from Udemy. Also, you could go on theactorstoolbox.net and get a free trial week. I'm coaching on there about 105 students, and you could do all the business assignments to get your business package together and motivational minutes, and the list goes on. And then I'm all over the internet, so if you want to train with me, sign up for the Saturday 5-hour intensive, because that's the qualifier for every single one of my classes. But thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime, sweetie. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, bye. And I'll talk to you later, okay?
Definitely. I'm connected to you. Bye. And there you have it, the amazing. Bye-bye. Thank you. And there you have it, the amazing Amy Lyndon and her Lyndon Technique. You guys can check her out, Google her, as she said. Thank you guys, and I appreciate you. Just, it's an amazing thing to be able to connect with all these great teachers and motivational people because of the great work that they put in. It just shows you that if you lay the course and do the right thing and make the right choices, that you too can also achieve some of your dreams and goals. It's not like something that only certain people will have it. Some people may be gifted, like, LeBron James or Denzel Washington's with certain attributes and stuff, but we all can work smart and hard, and, nothing stopping you from doing it. So, we got to stop making excuses and, do what we can. Everybody, you have to connect with the podcast everywhere: iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Boom Bat, everywhere. Just Google it, Moscova Media Podcast. I appreciate everybody for listening and sharing. Definitely, everyone around the globe, share the show with a friend. If you see something you like or something you want us to talk about or someone you want us to have on, send me an email at info@moscovaenterprises.com or Instagram, vmoscova, VMOSCOVA. That's VMOSCOVA. And we can connect there. Appreciate you, blogtalkradio.com, for blowing up the show on your site. Thank you, Blog Talk Radio. Spreaker, thank you for sharing the show everywhere. Thank you, everybody. This is your boy, Vikens Moskova. Yeah, boy. Thank you to Dancing in Life. You know, you got to mention these people's name that either help you or whatnot. So, you know, thank you to Amy Lyndon as well. And peace out, everybody. Find me at facebook.com, Vikens Moskova, or my YouTube, Moskova Media, for videos and how-tos on marketing and so much more. Go to moskovaacademy.thinkific.com. And we is out.